Good evening, everybody. Had a little bit of problem getting the projector to work. Hope everybody's having a nice fall evening. We had a windstorm go through here yesterday at 3 o'clock and blew all the power out. And there's nothing you can do in a dark house with no power. Today was historic. This right about in here was the all-time high, and they gapped up through that and headed higher. So as you can see, even without that being a breakout into new all-time high territory, we still got a pattern we can recognize. There's kind of our J-hook pattern, and they never were able to close this below the T-line. So even though we're in the new high territory, there could be another big run from here. So that was the Dow. Again, the Dow, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do at all. So the Dow breaking out into new territory, while the NASDAQ, there was a trend line that we could draw from here right down through there. And that would have been a resistance level where the NASDAQ kind of held at that area most of the day. But then in the final 10, 15 minutes, they took it up higher. And transportation index kind of gapped up into new high territory. So this is a pretty good day as far as telling us that even though we're in new high territory, there's still a lot of investor sentiment, bullish sentiment. So we could have another wave of this magnitude to give us another couple weeks to the upside. Things like crude oil has been trading around, right now it's at the 41.45 level. You can see it's kind of in this range right here, which I would suspect with as long as they can keep the United States energy independent, that crude oil isn't going to move around a whole heck of a lot because it's not going to be influenced by foreign countries cutting back supply or putting artificial supply numbers out. It's more going to be that the U.S. companies are going to keep a good, steady flow of oil coming. So I don't think we're going to see the price movements like we used to. And you can see what's happening with soybeans. Just a nice, strong, steady eddy, and still in another J-hook type pattern, probably bringing you back up toward the top of the trading range. I don't know what wheat did today. Wheat now coming out of this, bouncing off the 50. Gold, absolutely sideways. And the U.S. dollar, heading down. There's your bearish J-hook pattern. So lower dollar helps the U.S. economy, makes it cheaper for foreign countries to buy U.S. products. All right, so the big outstanding point that I want to make tonight, which is kind of a clear illustration of why, I'm going to take a step back. A lot of investors say, shoot, the market's going up and my portfolio isn't really doing much. That's because most people have stocks that are going up, some stocks that are flat, and other stocks that are trading down even in up market. So it takes a lot of strength for the good stocks or the bullish stocks to kind of offset the rest of the portfolio. Well, I found years ago that that is kind of diminished when you're using candlestick charts, because now we have the capability of not only scanning to see which sectors are the strongest, but which stocks in that sector are the strongest. So you don't have to sit there with a portfolio where you've got some good ones and some bad ones. You can pretty much analyze now when it's time to get out of positions. So the good sectors right now obviously are over in the lithium mining stocks for the lithium batteries. And today it was pointed out that WWR had broken out. And the nice thing about this chart is it broke out right here off the 50 through the T-line. When it did it before, it just ran like a scalded dog from about the $3 level up to the $13 level. This has the same capability because now, obviously, interest for some reason is coming back into the lithium stocks. So this allows for pinpointing where the strength is, because I often look at the markets. The market was up 360 points on the open today, yet there was numerous stocks that were trading flat and trading down. So the first logical thing is to go to the charts and see which sectors are acting strong in this uptrending market. And yeah, today was the lithium miners, LTHM. You can see the classic pattern, fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern. If this breaks out tomorrow, expect at least another move like this, which will take you up into this range. I'm trying to keep the, I'll get to some more. But some other ones that are also involved with electric vehicles. Blink, we had been kind of advocating ever since it stayed up above the T-line. But today, look at the double doji setup, and it started trading positive. So you not only have a double doji bullish breakout of this level, but kind of a J-hook pattern, which if this is wave 1, wave 3 should take you up in this area, but at least give you a running start. So Blink was working. NIO, guess, had that one company say it's way overvalued, but this is where you always listen to the market and not necessarily one analyst or one research firm. What was the name of that company? Citrix, which is a strong shorting company. Well, if they can't push this down, still look for more upside in NIO. We've been advocating Kendai as a long-term hold. Bad earnings, but good prospects for the Citron. Okay. Bad earnings, but that was a past. The outlook for the electric vehicles still is very positive as a whole industry, probably for the next few years. Some other ones that were working well, QRT, ever since the bobble breakout, still has all this gap to fill up here. We recommended Momo, or when did we recommend Momo? Oh, today. So here was one that when it opened up, it didn't do anything. So obviously you don't want to go after it. You want to go after the ones that you start see moving pretty strong. It's still a buy, especially if it comes back up through today's open. because it's got this trend. And if it breaks out through this trend, there's your gap. There's your gap to fill, which would kind of equate to coming up and hitting the 200-day moving average. So, oops, I went through this too quickly. So, in a strong market, if you can identify which sectors are acting the strongest, that's where you're going to probably put a little bit more weight. So, if I've got 10 positions on in the portfolio, and I can see 3 sectors acting very strong: lithium, electric vehicles, and oil and gas exploration coming on strong, I'm probably going to have a majority of my positions in those areas. Now, a lot of people say, well, don't you want to diversify? We're not trying to diversify because we think some are going to go up and some are going to go down. If you're on a short-term trading basis, a swing trader, where your trades are going to last anywhere from 2 to 10 to maybe 20 trading days, and you're sitting here watching it, you want to be in the strongest stocks you could possibly be in. If that means you've got 2 lithium, 2 oil and gas stocks, 2 electric vehicles, there's 6 out of your 10 positions. Now you got 4 other good charts to be working on. And 2 of those might be shorts and 2 of those 2 other longs. So, but so the whole aspect is you're a little bit weighted in the sectors that are acting very strong. That's the point I was trying to make. Because that goes back to mediocre returns is when you've got a portfolio of 10 positions and 4 of them are working, 2 of them are flat, and 5 of them working, 2 of them are flat and 2 of them are down slightly. Your overall return is just blasé. If you've got 3 good strong sectors and a couple other good strong stocks, your rate of return is going to be exaggerated to the upside. And at least we have visual control of knowing which sectors, which stocks to be going after. Okay, some of the other ones that we got. We'll run through these real quick. SPWR looks like it's setting up for another J-hook pattern. Upworks in a 45-degree. You stay long on this one. Very. You can see the fry pan bottom breakout. You just stay long on this one. TKR, this is a chart pattern that we're seeing quite a bit of, where they've broken out on the day that they announced the first vaccine, and now they're continuing in a 45-degree. Gish, hold on for a second. We'll get to some of those. Right now we're just going through the ones that we've been recommending up to this point. ACLS, you can see the J-hook pattern that bounced right smack dab off the T-line, a Morningstar signal off the 200. You continue to hold this one until you see a sell signal. We had recommended plan after the best friend signal, and there's your J-hook pattern that bounced off the 50 and the T-line. If this is wave 1, wave 3 should take you up here, which means they break out through this level, providing expectations of a lot more upside. T-Con has a good setup. If you didn't buy it today, you can still buy this one, especially if it comes up through the highs, because that's going to give you a bullish doji sandwich breakout. Now, AVYA is one that's looking a little bit soggy. You had a bearish left-right combo, and then you had it open positive and trade lower. Now, it's not necessarily closed back below the T-line, but here's what we're going to be concentrating on this weekend as we look at convergence analysis. Got a sell signal, a left-right combo. It's not confirming, but what are the other elements that we could put into our evaluation of this chart? First of all, it looks like the stochastics are starting to roll over a little bit. Secondly, we had a bearish left-right combo, which is not good for an uptrend. And third, look where it occurred, right here at the same level it topped out before. And fourth, we just had a market that was up strong today, and this thing didn't move. If you had this in your portfolio, this would be one of the positions you'd look at and say, all right, is this the best place to have my money, or should I be looking for charts that are doing this type of thing? So even though you haven't got a confirmed sell signal, it's not doing what it's supposed to. Take that money and move it to someplace else. So if you're long on this one, it has to open positive and trade positive tomorrow, otherwise you get rid of it. All right, so this market is an extremely strong bullish market, obviously. But there are still charts that can kind of help you offset being totally 100% long. Look at the big evening star and our recommendation. Is that right? Okay, thank you. What is today? Today is the 16th. All right, so it's a couple more days. I would look at it on the basis that if it was trading lower tomorrow, going into earnings the next couple of days, that means somebody's not real enthusiastic about it. But we're still short CYH because of this big evening star signal, big shooting star, and staying below the T-line. So why would you want to have short positions even if the market's totally bullish? Just for kind of that diversity or the hedging, that if something big happened, at least some of the short positions would offset something that could offset the longs if they announce something unexpected. Overstock is another one that's in a downtrend. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Did a doji today, but if this opens lower, what is it telling us? We're probably still heading down here to the 200-day moving average. And Snap is another one that hasn't been able to get back up above the T-line. This one could still be shorted. Look at what it did today, even when the market was up, what was it, 475 points. All right, now the biggies. This is another indicator. They're not trading the big ones right now. They're trading specific sectors. You can see NVIDIA. That's just absolutely sideways. Netflix. You could be short on this. But there's probably lots better places to have your money. Tesla. Just not a chart you want to be trading right now. If you're short, you can stay short, but it's not showing us any great resiliency to the downside. Oh, is it up big tonight? Take a gander here. That's not what I wanted to do. Well, I'll be a son of a gun. It is up big. I'll try to move this a little bit. Did they announce something? Tesla's trading up here. Oh, join the S&P. All right. All right, and that kind of fits into the electric vehicle area. So Tesla's still got some reasons to trade it now that it's moved up that big. Amazon, just not a good tradable not a good tradable stock. Now, remember, there's going to be times when a stock just goes blah. There's going to be times when you want to trade it one way or the other. So right now, you just have to say, hey, these big ones aren't trading very well. Let's move on to something else for a little bit. Oh, somebody was mentioning AMD, and it's still not anything I'd get real excited about. Okay, now, observe the obvious. Another vaccine is announced. That's given more implication that people are going to be out and about. The airlines are moving. AZUL. There's a now. Here's another point I wanted to make. There's a lot of stocks that are up, but there's a lot of stocks that are up that have no patterns to them. So here's just the logic. If you've got dozens of charts that look good, look bullish, I show Tesla dropping from 406 to 408. No, 467. I don't think it. I think it went the other way, didn't it? Yeah, it closed at 408. And right now it's trading up here at around 467 or so. No, okay, I don't know. And Macy's is being dropped. Whoops. I don't know where it's trading. Looks like it. Closed at around the $8. All right. Yeah, the reason that the after-hours prices are very volatile is you could have a stock that traded, and we did look at one. No, I think it was WWR traded 35 million shares today, but it was trading a little bit down after hours. Where is it now? So it traded down to 90. It closed at 627. It traded down to 588. Right now it's trading at 504, 505. So the volume after hours is just minuscule compared to what the normal trading is during the day. So I got way off track here. Another airline. CPA, with your best friend breakout. Look at your Morningstar signal and then the breakout. Again, these are stocks that are going to be obviously benefited by the public being able to get back out into the public. And whose handwriting? Dang. There's another, VLRS, another airline. So we got sectors that are working. Again, the mining stocks for lithium. GP, another one that, this is Green Power Motors. This is kind of a mixture of the battery or electric cars. Beam, another one in that area. PLL, also a mining stock for lithium. That's a good-looking chart with today's doji sandwich. Ride, is, I think they make the, just trying to remember some of these. Look at my demo data. Real data matches what everybody else. Okay. Now I forgot what I was saying. Okay, yeah. Well, so they make buses, electrical vehicles that might have short routes where they come back to one main area at night. Nothing in production yet. This is why I've been recommending, and I think Kendai, if I'm not mistaken, already has stuff out in production. But and I'm trying to remember all the differences of these different companies, that the Kendai makes small, like one-man little delivery trucks. So electric, now the big problem prior was electric vehicles being able to get charged up if they're out on the road and don't come back to a central station. But there's a lot of companies now that that have vehicles that, again, if they leave a central station, go out, do their business, and come back to the central station at night to get charged up, and that is a growing sector. So that's a long dissertation. Oh, Solo is the one-person car. All right. Well. There's your nice fry pan bottom breakout. So lithium, I guess this is this the ET for the lithium miners? Good steady uptrend, good J-hook pattern. And this is NNDM, another one that's about ready to break a wedge formation. Is that okay? And that one, Fuzz, is breaking out into new territory. Let's see, I'm looking down the list here. Oh, dang. I asked in the chat room what CBAT does, and I can't remember. I just remember it had something to do with lithium or electric vehicles. But you can see how that broke out nicely today. So this is more of an illustration of getting into sectors that you know are strong CB, yes, I think Blink is the one that is building electric stations. All right, CBAT makes, batteries in China. Okay, that's right. So Blink, I think, is doing a lot as far as setting up the electrical recharging stations. You see where it's broken out. And if I'm correct, Blink right now is trading up here in the 13 to 1305 area. John, that's where you have to kind of go to your 10-minute chart. So you know they've broken out. The problem is sometimes on a breakout, they will just scoot. So that's where you, when you see something breaking out, it's going to be a good distance away from the T-line. So you have to definitely be watching your 10-minute chart. But the whole point of seeing the breakout is there's a new dynamic, a new investment perspective on that stock. So fortunately, being able to see kind of a fry pan bottom breakout right here off the 50 puts you in a situation where we can easily recognize when there's something new coming into a chart or a stock. So if we know that WWR had a big breakout, and then we look back and say, oh, it's a lithium mining company, and we see that the other lithium mining companies are acting well, that just gives you a twofold. First, it tells you the lithium mining companies are things you might want to watch, number one, and number two, that this might be a very strong one in that sector because of the new breakout. So it allows us to make a lot more evaluations of where to have money, and hopefully in the right places, strong places at the right time. Now the shipping stocks all have one common aspect to them today. Sting. If it opens positive tomorrow, you've got a bobble breakout. Tank. Oh, gonna zip right into there. Kind of a bobble breakout. And Fro, a bobble breakout. So this tells us the shipping stocks probably need to be looked at. I just picked out a few that were confirming bobble breakouts. But when you do your scans at night, or you just go to your sector search, or you, I think you can even go to that individual stock and some charts, some services, and then see what all the rest of them in that sector are doing. So I'm pointing this out because if I see this happening in a lot of stocks in a sector, I know that sector is probably strong. So how do we put all our stars in alignment? If we know the market is going up and we can identify which sectors are the strongest, and this was a backwards way to find out, then we can go to that sector and see which stocks in that sector have the strongest charts. Fossil, you can see the kicker type signal. And I am pretty sure we can do a wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. And I didn't write this one down, but I thought people were talking about fuel cell. Yep, fuel cell. Kind of a big fry pan bottom, little fry pan bottom. But the important thing is it kind of broke out today. Look for more upside. Fossil, too late to get into? Not really. If you were buying this one, what would you expect? And here's that part of the expectation of coming out of a pattern. You expect it to go this way. So where would you not want to see it close tomorrow? Probably back below the halfway point of this candle, because that would tell you it didn't break out. It fizzled here. So the probabilities, the expectations are you're in a wave 3, but we also have the alert to tell you when it's not working. You close it right back out. Other oil stocks. Murphy Oil, you can see has did a gap up. Let's make this bigger. Did kind of your bobble breakout. Where's your next target? Up here. Even the big stocks, ExxonMobil, bounced right off the 50 in the T-line. So what's our normal trading? When they break through a resistance level, they'll come back and test it. If it acts like support, that means they're going to the next resistance level. Is there a website for sectors? Edwin, usually whatever charting service you're using, you can go to the sector search. Now I use Metastock and TC2000. TC2000 has what they call the Morningstar sector groups. So I can go to that group and scan that group just like I would scan regular stocks. And so if I'm scanning and I see which sectors have a good pattern or the biggest percent price move, then I can click on that sector and then break it down to what stocks are in that sector, and then scan to see which one of those have very strong charts. If the oils are acting better, would it be worth looking at the oil MLP funds? Like, you can, if that's what you're trading, Jay. Me being a swing trader, when I go to a sector, I want to see which stocks in that sector are acting the strongest, because your ETF is going to be the accumulation of all the stocks going up, sideways, and down. So even though that sector might be acting strong, it might be acting strong at a 3% potential or a 5% potential, whereas an individual stock that has a good chart might have a 13, 15, 20, 30, 40% upside potential. So obviously the more stocks you have in a ETF, the more, what do I want to say, more quiet the trend will be. There's Chevron. It broke out through the 200. Neighbors. There's a nice bobble breakout. HPR. There's a nice gap up scoop type mornings. Again, here's what we call convergence analysis, kind of a scoop pattern, gap up, island reversal, use the T-line as support. Next target should be at least the 50-day moving average. The more pieces of evidence we can put into our visual analysis, and again, it doesn't take very long, it takes a split second to say, yep, scoop, island reversal, gap up, showing a strong reversal. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Core Laboratories. Why do I have that here? Oh, because of the bobble breakout. So this is why I often tell people, instead of trying to learn all of them, if you just pick out a few. I mean, the bobble breakout is one of your high probability, high profit trade setups. Hold on, I got to shift some charts around. Oh, pshaw. That's right. Hold on, something is wrong here. Okay, oops. All right. Sorry about that. This sometimes gets gummed up for some reason. let's see, what was I looking at? TGI is a defense stock. Boeing, same chart. And CAL, J-hook pattern with a bullish Harami gap up. Another one with a good strong chart. Ruth Chris Steakhouse is an example of that sector. The restaurants. Was another one. Did we recommend Love? I don't remember recommending it. Looking back through my notes. I don't see where we recommended it. But yes, if it opens lower, you want to close it out. It's not going anywhere. Teradyne, J-hook pattern. So there's plenty of J-hook patterns out there right now. What you want to do is, again, put the little tweaks in it where it might be a J-hook pattern with a strong signal off the T-line and or off the a moving average that's identifiable to everybody else. Polar Power, you can buy this one. Yeah, I don't even remember recommending Southwest. Right now, it looks pretty good. You could be buying this one. And there's some construction stocks that are acting well. Here's a kind of a gap up on Road, which is a construction company. So there are tons of good charts. There's a J-hook pattern after your scoop pattern off of M-chip. You could be buying this one, especially if it gets up through this level. Oh. Is that my handwriting? Dang. Oh, there's a J-hook pattern on MOD. So you big breakout, Morningstar signal. If this is wave 1, wave 3 should be taking you a lot higher. Right now, yeah, the futures are down 80 on the Dow, but they're still up on the Qs. So remember, the futures right now don't mean a hill of beans. RK, there's tons of good-looking charts that we would identify. Doesn't mean there is an overabundance of charts. There's still lots of stocks today that didn't move very much. What we're interested in is the ones that are moving. So when I say there's a ton of good-looking charts, it's in the sectors that we're identifying. So this type of chart is very prevalent right now, especially in the stocks that are going to benefit from the vaccine and everybody get back out in the public again. Dave and Buster's. So I know what we can do. Right now, the YMs are going down a little bit, but again, this doesn't mean anything at this time of night. I used to know what the semiconductors were. Was it the socks? Yeah, so there's a nice J-hook pattern on the socks. Is that the, that might be a double, but they're, yes, semiconductors are doing well. So right now, with the market staying up above the T-line, anything else that you have to put into your assumption or conclusion still has to have the basis of the fact that we're above the T-line. And now we're moving out into new territory. So what's our actual analysis? Looks like a J-hook pattern, which tells us if they've gapped up through the resistance level, wave 3 could be the same as wave 1, or we're going much higher. Yes, I would think that Fun is working well. Disney, trend kicker type signal. The restaurants like Red Robin, if this opens positive tomorrow, you can see the scoop type pattern, then the J-hook pattern. All right. So with that, is there any general questions on candlesticks? If not, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And do the next double line, or the scrolling will. SPT. Yes, so just think of this. Which direction is this stock going right now? As you can see, there's really no trend to it. I would have closed it out today. AFIN, what's the question on this one? This one you can buy if it opens positive doing a J-hook breakout. CPE, that's another J-hook pattern, kind of your classic fry pan bottom J-hook. Expectation is the 200. How far out do you buy in expirations? That's up to each individual, Henry. In the options room, we've got some people that only go a week out. Then there's others that will go out 2, 3, 4 weeks. Now, I don't recommend going out too much further than 4 weeks. Well, I shouldn't say that. The more conservative you are, the further out you want to go, just so that if it works, you make good money. But the purpose of leveraging options, obviously, is that you want to, if something's working, you want to get a lot of leverage with it, which means the closer to expiration you are, the less you're going to pay for those options. So that is up to each individual of how aggressive they want to be as far as risk factor. IBIO, nice fry pan bottom breakout. You can be buying this one. Make sure your volume is pretty hefty. Sonu, you can stay long, but here's what you want to keep an eye on is you may have broken out. So if I was long, I'd have a safety stop right at today's low, because as it came back through that level, that's telling me they weren't able to get through the breakout area. This one, kind of flat. No, I don't know why this one always goes flat like this, but that's another little J-hook wedge breakout potential. And Neti, whoops. This one's got the double doji type setup. You broke out, you've consolidated. Now if this opens positive and starts trading positive, you can buy this aggressively. So that double doji is a good indication that it was consolidation, like we saw over here in Blink, and then it opened positive and started trading positive. Told you your uptrend was probably still in progress. They've taken some profits, and now they're back in buying. Bloom, stay long. I'd have my safety stop at today's open. Tesla, you'll have to wait to see what they do with it on the open. Where is it trading right now? Yeah, you can't jump into it without waiting to see where they open it and what they do for the first few minutes afterwards. Well, Airs, you can stay long on this. You definitely want to see it trade positive. You don't want to see it close below the T line, because if it does that, it's pretty much telling you it's stuck sideways. You want to be someplace else. I wouldn't go long. That opened up at 477, closed. So you've got a little red candle there. Whoops. I'd be more apt to buy it if it came back up, started trading up through today's high. All right, Bob. Flowers. You can buy it. I just watch to see what happens once it runs into the moving averages. ETM. Stay long on this one. Make sure your volume is good. YRCW. Bang. That's a one you can buy on the basis that you're probably in a trend channel, that it's going to come back up and test the top of the trend channel. Yes, and you could buy that with the gap up today. United Airlines, J-hook pattern, Occidental, J-hook pattern, expectation up here at the to the 200. Pin interest. You just stay long. It's nothing wildly exciting until they can break out at least through this level. But when it does, you might be in another wave of this magnitude. Do you trade futures overnight? Raymond, I do. As a matter of fact, I'm long soybeans right now as we're doing this, and soybeans is up 12 cents. Now, it depends on what I think the overall trend is. If it looks fairly choppy, I usually close out. If it looks like it's a good trend, I can show you. Today I went long on soybeans. Actually, I went short early, and then it turned around and headed back up. You can see the little pattern, and you can see they weren't closing it below the T line. So I'm looking for another leg up. So I will hold things overnight if I think they're in a good trend. Obviously, right now, soybeans is in a good trend. Alex, you can stay long, but it did a little bit of diciness today, but it stayed above the 3T line. I'd have a safety stop just below the lows of the last couple of days. Starbucks, just not a good trader. Very slow moving, but it's being affected by getting out of the house. So if you're long, stay long on this one. You could buy it if you like it. I think there's better places, better percent returns. And AB or ALB, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, you stay with this. I don't know whether you buy it here. Nah, you're up in the overbought area. I would hold it, but I wouldn't be buying at this level. Where would I be able to find educational videos on the patterns you are mentioning? Waleed, they're all over our website. If you will email Abraham at candlestickforum.com, he'll send you the link to all the our products, all the video training videos, that sort of thing. Or you probably want to buy the second book, High Profit Candlestick Signals and Patterns. That way you always have them there at your fingertips. MHLD, buy on positive open tomorrow. Yeah, that's, what do they do? Maiden Holdings. Maiden Holdings. That sounds sexist. You can buy this one on positive trading, but I'd trade this off your off the 10-minute chart. That's a long-legged doji. Stochastics rolling over. If you're long, you get ready to close this out if it opens lower tomorrow. Okay, Tesla 461, 462. Pin interest. Breakout above down trend line. Yeah. You can see a little resistance level. Bearish left-right combo on Blink. I don't recall a bearish left-right combo. Was it that day you were worried about? That's why that's not so much a left-right combo. Remember, a left-right combo is actually a doji type day. That was not quite what I would consider a doji. And FSLY. Oh, I'm supposed to remind me. Remember, this Saturday we will be doing, I think it's about a 4-hour session on, I'll have to check, on convergence analysis. And this is where you take all the information that we know about the different indicators and how we kind of visually look at a chart at a glance to see which ones are better than the others based upon the number of things we can see on the chart that would add to a profitable trade. So obviously a candlestick reversal signal and a confirming indicator is good. A candlestick signal, reversal signal, and 2 confirming indicators are better. 3 is better yet. 4 is better yet. So the more you can put into your analysis, the higher the probability you're going to be in the right trade at the right time. FSLY, kind of a double doji. You can buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. All right, when was the earnings reported on FLGT. If it's already been reported, definitely stay long. Raymond, I don't, but let me finish a couple of these. All the cruise lines are starting to show a little strength. I would still wait. Well, you could still be buying these on strength. If I was buying Norwegian, it would be after it came back up through today's open. Are you looking for gold? This is December gold, and right now it's just absolutely flat. So tonight, Raymond, just as we were, right before we started, I saw that what had been setting up going into the close today, I closed out the position to see what it would do tonight, and when it gapped up, where are we? That's the 1 minute. That's not what I want. When it gapped up on the 5 minute and the 10 minute, that told me that my daily chart was going to be still circulating there in that direction. Not circulating, but rolling up into that direction. Another lockdown, all right. Tesla added to the S&P, yep. How far out do you buy in expiration? Sometimes it takes sense to go long on options. I did. GE. Yeah, sometimes, which one did I do? Oh, lithium, I think. Lithium looked like it had a chart that was going to move pretty quick. So, and it looked like that it had a long-term, if this broke out, had another, might be a long-term bullish chart, which basically I bought some that expire, I think this Friday. Yes, what is today? Today's Monday. Friday, I bought some that expire this Friday, but I bought more that expire in December. Cheryl, yeah, there's the same formation. It's just where do they occur? And I can't think of any hammers right now. Hammer is going to be in the oversold area, and hanging man is going to be at the top of a trend. It's just like the converse of a shooting star at the top. Let's see, I remember the shooting star. That's a shooting star. But if it was occurring down here, that would be the inverted hammer. Pfizer, I would have closed it out today. You got even a kind of a little bearish kicker signal. So that's not a good chart. The fact that once they opened it, they've never bought it, and you're right back into the trading range, I'd have my money someplace else. Yeah, so if you sold out Blink, now here's something you got to do that took me a while to get through my head, is that if I close out something because I think it's a bearish signal, and then it doesn't confirm, I'll buy back in. So if I sold out at 970, it used to be I wouldn't get back in because they weren't going to trick me and get me back in and then turn it around again. Now I know that if they don't confirm, I can buy back in. So maybe I missed out on 38 cents I'm still buying something that was doing what I expected it to be doing. So don't be afraid if you come out of a position and you see it doesn't do, or you get stopped out of a position and then it turns around and comes back up. If it's doing what the pattern tells you it's supposed to be doing, buy it back in. That coming out or getting stopped out and losing or missing out on 20, 40, 80, $1 of potential profit is just insurance that you didn't hold on to something that was going to take 20, 40, 80, 60, $1 away from you. And TBIO, I would just stay long. Gravestone Doji. Yes, the ultimate inverted hammer is the Gravestone Doji at the bottom. The only difference is that if you see a Gravestone Doji in bullish confirmation anywhere, it's going to be a good reversal. If you see it as a inverted hammer, it gives you a much greater probability that you're going to not only be heading in the right direction, but even with a 95% or greater probability that it's going to be heading up. Nikola is kind of in a fry pan bottom. It wouldn't be anything that I would rush after until probably a breakout, which would probably be the 50. All right, so there's still lots of good money possible in this market. I mean, look where we've come from the 2,600 to almost it was just 35 points away from hitting 30,000. All right, everybody. I guess that's all we got for tonight. So with that, everybody have a good evening. We will see you bright and early in the morning tomorrow. We'll see you then.